Hi guys, and welcome to yet another video. As I said in my vlog yesterday, I'm actually going to do my Wonder Woman review today. Right. Whoa. Wonder Woman, the world is waiting for you. My god, the world was so waiting for Wonder Woman. It was phenomenal. It's actually one of my favourite films of this year. And there was part of me that really wanted it to do well, but there was also the part of me going in that was like, yeah, well, don't get your hopes up too much because you're also very excited for Batman v Superman and Suicide Squad, and we all know how that was turned out. I walked out of both. Batman v Superman slightly less so because there were really good parts in it. Like the fighting was epic, Batman was epic, and Wonder Woman was epic. It was just kind of the Superman stuff that brought it down a little bit, I think. Oh, I absolutely adore Henry Cavill though. Don't get me wrong. I know he's a really good actor because I've seen him in The Tudors and he is phenomenal. And in The Man from U.N.C.L.E. he was phenomenal. It's just I think it's the direction that's just really off with Superman, because you've got Superman who's supposed to be, like in the comics, he's the upbeat typical American hero, and it's Batman who's slightly darker. But both of them are darker, so you never really got what they were fighting over, to be perfectly honest. Yeah. So I went into those and I was disappointed slightly when I came out. Suicide Squad was just, after hearing everything that Jared Leto did, all of the method acting, sending people used condoms, rats, all that kind of thing, and then he turns up for like 5 minutes. The only thing I really liked was the music. But walking into this, I sort of had a quiet moment with myself, and I was like, you know, it might not be fantastic. It might be a disappointment, so prepare yourself. When I walked out of this film, I was hyped. Like, they showed the Justice League trailer before the film. I'm ready for Justice League now. DC have proved to me that they can make a thoroughly good film. It's not okay. It's not, yeah. It's good. I don't know if it's Oscar worthy, or I don't know if it's quite got the quality of The Dark Knight, but it is my favourite DC film since The Dark Knight. Wonder Woman. You done got me. You done got me. So anyway, I'm gonna go through what I liked and what I disliked, because in my eyes, there's no film that's really perfect, and there are some things in here that are a bit meh. But I will start with what I liked. And DC, you have proved you can do characterization right, because the characters in this, man, you done very good. You done very good indeed. Start with Wonder Woman. Gal Gadot knocks it out of the park. She's a really good actress, and there are some times where you kind of can't really understand her because her accent gets a little bit thick, but that's just me being slightly deaf, so I don't really have a problem with it. And Wonder Woman probably should have an accent, just saying. The all-American hero who's from Themyscira, so, you know. I loved her in this, because obviously the film, minor spoilers, kind of. The beginning of the film is her sitting in her, it looks like a little office under the Louvre, and Bruce sends her the original picture that he emailed to her during Batman v Superman, and that's sort of where the story comes from, because she's remembering everything. You can see how much the character changes. His Wonder Woman starts off being very naive and optimistic, very idealistic, she genuinely believes that humanity is good, and that any war or conflict is the product of Ares. And as the film goes on, you see her lose that very quickly. And there's a natural character progression, which I really like, because you can see why she becomes the way she does, why she wants to be detached from humanity, why she separated herself. It's so good! Gal Gadot, babe. She can do no wrong in my eyes at this point. Love her so much. Oh, man. I'm hype. Absolutely hype. And then we move on to Chris Pine, who is one of my favourite actors. He is so underrated, even though he is Captain Kirk in Star Trek films. The new Star Trek. We don't talk about the old ones because I haven't actually watched them, so I can't really comment. But he's so underrated. He's really funny. Just, he doesn't have to do these madcap things to be funny. He's just naturally got amazing comic timing, which is very hard to achieve if you don't have it naturally. And he has it naturally. And oh, I love the character of Steve Trevor so much. And boy, it made me cry. Like, bruh. Gal Gadot and Chris Pine, well, obviously, it's kind of Wonder Woman's movie, but those two made this. Their chemistry, and even individually, their individual performances were fantastic. Both had such an effect on me. I was like, oh my gosh, these people can act. Like, bruh, this is what we've been needing. Oh, I love it so much. And even like the supporting characters. I realised one of the actors was in Trainspotting, and I was like, I recognise him. I don't know where. And it was only as I got out that I realised, oh my god, that's Spud. That is Spud. Belter. That was, what was he? Charlie. No, not Jack. Charlie. The supporting cast were really, really strong as well. Like Sammy, he had me laughing. He was brilliant, and they were all good. Like, I don't think there was really any performances that let this down. The acting on the whole was bloody amazing. And I think that comes somewhere from having good direction, having good, strong, clear direction for each character, which I think is that's kind of what Man of Steel and Suicide Squad and Batman v Superman lacked, along with slightly something to do with the script, I think. I don't know. I can only speculate. But, oh, so good. Oh, it was so good. The plot, I really admired the fact that they decided to do something in World War One, because as a war, it's not the typical good versus evil thing that things like Captain America utilise World War Two, where it's very clear that there's a right and a wrong, if you get what I mean. Nazis bad, Allies good. If you want to do a war film, most will go there, or if they want to highlight the sort of grey area, maybe Vietnam. But very few films had actually done World War One, because nobody really understands why it started. That was the whole question in my year 13 A2 history exam. Why did the First World War start? Did Germany start it? Did England? In my personal opinion, they were both provoking each other, so something was going to happen. I'm just saying. But yeah, there isn't really a clear-cut path. And I like that. There's a moral ambiguity, and it lends itself to the idea that maybe humans aren't good. We destroy each other, we fight. I mean, the amount of times humanity has almost obliterated itself, even in the past 100 years, it does go some way to showing human nature, that we will always fall to ideological conflict, especially contemporarily. The amount of attacks that have happened recently, it's a time of ideological unrest. In my opinion, all war is inherently ideological, whether it's to do with religion or thinking that you deserve something. This film came out at the right time, I think. Definitely. So I loved the World War One setting. There's also, it's more localized. So the characters you're probably seen in the trailer, but minor spoilers. I'm not going to give away the ending, I don't think. This is going to be spoiler free. If you want a spoiler talk, I can do that too. But yeah, World War One is also very localized because of the trenches and where most of the fighting's taking place. So it's kind of, yeah, any attacks are more understandable how they would be detrimental, if you understand what I am getting at. If I even make sense anymore, because I don't know. The heat is frying my brain cells. But it was so good. The score, I am a massive fan of the Wonder Woman theme. That was one of my highlights. I did also like the Lex Luthor theme though. I don't know why. I didn't like Lex Luthor, but I liked his theme. Yeah, her theme, it sort of fits with the whole tribal Amazon thing, which I think suits her perfectly, obviously, because of her backstory. I just can't stop saying good things about this. I genuinely can't. Wow. Cinematography was beautiful. My only mild complaint with that is purely there is a very heavy over-reliance on slow motion, which it gets a little bit grating, but I'd prefer that so that I can actually see what's going on instead of this bullshit shaky cam that seems to exist in everything. I'd prefer that you use slow motion and you actually show me how impressive that choreography is. Because the stunt choreography is amazing. Just all of these badass women, Wonder Woman being a total badass, just, it gets me hyped. And as a young woman in the 21st century, there aren't really that many strong female superheroes who can kick ass like that, who have their own films. It makes me proud. It makes me proud to be a woman at this moment in time. Which, it may sound weird and cliche, but it's the truth. I am proud of Wonder Woman. I'm glad it is done so well with, and it's got a female director. Like, get hype. Girl power. Power. Power to the people. So good. So good. Now I'm going to move on to what I liked slightly less. The first thing is there is some cheesy dialogue, but it's not enough that I'm sort of going, you know the typical tropes of, oh, you are my world. Oh no, the cringe. There was a bit of cringy dialogue, but it wasn't enough to really impact it for me personally. Another weakness is a weakness it shares with almost every other superhero film, and that's the villains. There are plural villains. They're not that strong. With Wonder Woman, I do like there's more of a human element to it. So the majority of the film revolves around the humanity and Diana exploring what it means to be part of humanity. And even learning to dance. That was one of the cutest things I've ever seen, and I was dying inside. But yeah, there was a reliance on humanity, and I think the villains suffered for that. Because there was actually a moment, because two of the villains are Ludendorff and Dr. Poison. There was actually a moment where they did something and they literally went, they'll never know. Ha ha ha. I'm like, oh my god. Did you actually turn into a cartoon then? Like, bruh, we don't need the ha 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 ha. type thing. You were okay without it. Just chill out. Yeah, and I'm not going to say who the other villain is, but they just seem very kind of weak and almost expositional. But to be honest, I am okay with them sacrificing the villain's complexity if you give me a complex superhero. If you show me that the superhero is weak or is conflicted, I prefer that because we are following that person. I would rather that they are deep and that they have multiple layers to them than sometimes it is better to prioritize the hero because it is their film, obviously, they're the protagonist, over the villain. Yeah, I think it worked in that way because the villains only serve her journey, really. Oh, it's so good. I Wonder Woman is one of my new favourite superheroes, without a doubt. Batman has always been my favourite. And now I'm thinking, Wonder Woman might knock you off your perch, Bat. She just might. I love this so much. And I think what it did right is you can say it's a fish out of water story, which every superhero film has done since day dot. But it does it well. And that's all I really care about. This is not Marvel. This is proof that DC can do a good film without trying to be Marvel. It's dark, but it's also funny. There was an entire joke, which there were about 5 people in the screen that I was in, and 2 of them were me and my dad. And there was a joke about sex and men being useless at it. And I was just sitting there, I was quietly wetting myself laughing at this moment. No one else laughed, so I was like, okay, cool. I'll shut up then. It's good. It doesn't have to be Marvel, and I think DC really needs to realise that. You don't have to copy Marvel. The two are different. I don't remember which critic said it, but there was one critic who mentioned that Marvel is very much about humans becoming gods, and DC is about gods becoming human. And I've found gods becoming human more interesting than people trying to be gods, which is probably why I prefer DC on the whole. I did like Captain America. I liked the first Avengers film. Thor's a bit hit and miss for me. I haven't seen any of the Iron Man films, but I think DC. I would probably classify myself as a DC fan, but I do have problems with it, which I think is okay. I think they make decent films. I think some of the stuff has something to do with Zack Snyder and his direction, but it also has something to do with the script because, like, the studios have all the power. That's all I'm gonna say. But I love this, and I think what I potentially would have made me like Batman v Superman more is if they hadn't done that stupid bloody ending. That was right. This is major spoilers for Batman v Superman. This is the ending of Batman v Superman. But then again, it came out a year ago, so if you haven't seen it now, you're probably not going to see it. So I'm gonna spoilers, but you know, they shouldn't have killed Superman at the end of that film. They should not. It was his second film, and he didn't even have that much screen time in his own film. That was stupid. And one of the most touching moments in the comics, from what I can understand, is the Justice League being at his funeral, walking behind his coffin. We are never going to get that now. So I can see why so many comic fans are pissed off with the ending. That was a stupid move. You could have done something like this film did. I don't know if it would have worked within the Batman v Superman kind of arena. Because in this film, you genuinely care. I will say, I did not care about Superman. He was just a bit annoying to me. Like, after the explosion and he's just walking over dead bodies. Like, what are you doing, fam? Stop moping. Like, seriously, chill out. You're supposed to be Superman. You're the all-American icon, and yet you're being just a mopey bastard, to be quite honest. But anyway, that's another time. This ending was perfect, and it was moving, and it was sad. I cared about Wonder Woman. I cared about Steve Trevor. I cared about Sammy, Charlie, Chief. I cared about the Belgian villagers, for God's sake. And they didn't even have any lines. But I cared. Which is what makes this DC film a billion times better than Suicide Squad and Batman v Superman. You actually genuinely care about the characters and they break your heart. You feel sorry for them. You mourn them. This film is a 9 out of 10, without a doubt. I might go up to 9.5. I'll go up to 9.5 for the sake of diplomacy. It's my favourite film of this year. Definitely. Well, I mean, Lego Batman was pretty awesome, but I think this is knocked Lego frigging Batman off its top spot. This is my favourite film of the year, and I'm so excited. I will give Spider-Man a chance. Even though I've never really liked Spider-Man. I love it so much. I'm excited. I am excited for Justice League. I'm excited for what the DC EU is going to do now. This was amazing. 9.5 out of 10. But anyway, I'm going to stop now before I just literally keep going on for another half an hour. Because I know I like the sound of my own voice, but yeah, I'm going off on tangents now. It was amazing. I'm excited. So anyway, that was my review of Wonder Woman, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. And I will see you in the next video. Mwah.